Welcome to a new episode of the No ID podcast. We have the wonderful, state your name, please.
Stephanie.
Okay, Stephanie.
That's it. Stephanie.
We're going to talk about a couple of things on this No ID podcast. We're improvising right now because, of course, with the COVID-19, I'm quarantined. Ain't nobody coming around me. Stephanie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, once again, my name is Stephanie. I'm of the non-20s group, so I done lived some life. So hopefully to be able to bring some of that experience into the conversation. I work in the finance industry. I'm a mother of one wonderful teenage son. So yeah, that's about, the gist of things that I'm willing to get into. So.
Okay, Stephanie. So right now, we're gonna do a little bit different. Usually, I'm talking about people, doing different things and some extraordinary things. We're gonna talk about a favorite show of a lot of people, Insecure.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it because season 4 just came out last week. For all those that don't know, you get the HBO app, get the 7-day free trial, and then check the email and get another. All right. So, Stephanie, what's your thoughts so far leading up to, you saw the most recent one, I'm guessing, correct?
Yes, I've seen both episodes. So, we can touch on a lot here. We all know that Insecure has all different types of dynamics to it. We got the friendship, we got the relationship part, we got the career part, we got the situationship, general dating, trauma that impacts your dating life and impacts your friendship. So, you know what I'm saying? You might have to navigate which direction you want to go first because it's a lot to hit.
All right. So I saw the first episode, right? And of course, this is after, was it Coachella, the festival? And
Coachella.
Coachella.
Did you say Coachella?
I did say Coachella. My word, public school. All right. So on this episode, the first episode, mistake me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We saw TSA Bay.
Yes, we did.
They had the block party.
Well, no, they have not had the official block party. It's the mixer.
Okay,
the mixer. Yes, to kind of solidify some sponsors and things to prepare for the block party. So the first episode, it starts off, this is 4 months before the actual block party. So that's where it's starting off at.
Okay. And we noticed that Molly is still with that, the new guy.
Asian Bay / Andrew.
Asian Bay / Andrew. And she got a little upset because he's dating other women outside of her.
Yes. So the little scene they had on the way to the mixer, they're having the normal discussion about, hey, you gonna be free? Can we get up? He was like, nah. Friday, I have other plans, but I'm free any other day. So you kind of see Molly get a little like, oh, how people some try to, kind of hits a button, so they kind of throw in a little joke to try to ease it in. They're like, so what you got a hot date, that type of thing, But lo and behold, he is dating other people, and to him, he was like, well, what's funny about it? Letting them know like, yeah, this is what he's doing right now. So that's the whole little thing within itself.
It is. Molly was one of my favorite people up there, but it's a lot of Mollys in the world.
And what makes you say there's a lot of Mollys in the world?
Because they'll get the right dude, but then in the way they have to find that one thing to just nitpick on because I don't know if they're afraid or whatever the case may be. Remember, she was talking to one of my favorite comedians, Rel Hari.
Hold on, who's that? You gotta refresh me of who that one was.
Season 3. No, season 2. Then she left him for the dude that sung the song Classic Man.
Oh, I remember. Okay, when she started dating people on from the league.
Yeah.
The exclusive, high profile people. My gosh. Yo, bringing up the dude from Classic Man. Yes, that season was a hot mess. I mean, when isn't Molly a hot mess? But it was a hot mess because when she was with old boy, do you remember his actual name in the show?
I don't remember his name.
Okay, but everybody knows we talking about Classy Man, so you know what we talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so she was kind of
Did you?
like the stuff she was sliding in, and when he was over, they had their whatever, and he was like, she was like, well, you can leave I think one of your suits here, making those little comments like that, like just kind of like, oh, okay. And then at the little party, at the engagement party of one of her coworkers, you know, because the impression that she made on him, like so far as like, oh, almost is like he looked at her as needy, right? So he pretended to be her boyfriend, like when they introduced, at the engagement party, whatever. And he jumped in and was like, boyfriend. So when they got by themselves, she was like, oh, boyfriend, kind of had being excited. She thinking that, oh, maybe this is about to be something. Maybe he's doing that to step up, and like he's trying to actually establish like, okay, this is what we're doing. But in actuality, it's like, nah, like I thought that's what you wanted me to do. So that kind of like egg in the face of like how she comes off as desperate, basically, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and the type of responses she gets because she comes off desperate. Either she gets, pushed away, or dismissed, or it's like, and once again going back to like, okay, you're needy, but at the same time you always find something wrong. You get what I'm saying?
True.
So you kind of see like more, it's different aspects of Molly that you keep seeing in each like season or episode, like from, like I said, once again, needy, to needy, desperate, complaining. Like she can never be satisfied, basically.
Nah, she can't. Then after she did that one, then she was messing with Buddy that was married, right, in the open relationship.
Yes, the open relationship, and then she was frustrated. So even with that, fast forward with Andrew, like when they were first meeting each other, like last season, like when they started having little dates or whatever, and that whole little scene in the restaurant where she got offended, and because he was like, "You got led on by a married man," and then she up and, you remember that
Yeah,
when
and then
she up and left.
yeah, cause she like really wanted him, cause they was like childhood friends. They got
Mm-hmm.
married, and she had like kind of caught feelings for Buddy, but then he had
Mm-hmm.
a baby on the way and left her. Then she got
See, it wasn't even that because dude name was Dro. It wasn't that he really
yeah.
left her. She was having issues with it. Like, okay, so she knew up front what she was getting into, but at the same time, she didn't understand the fullness of it, of being able to handle that. Because the thing about it is she got to the point where, oh, we need to make some boundaries. It's no calling or texting. Like, so basically either we just gonna do whatever and then be done, and we don't communicate, or that's getting cut off. It's going to, because she couldn't take both. Basically she couldn't take, a physical and emotional relationship like he was trying to have, so far as being somebody that's in an open, an open marriage. She couldn't handle it, basically.
Oh, she couldn't handle it, but she knew what she was getting herself into.
Hmm.
This is like that's pretty much side chick, right?
Yeah,
Side.
it's a shot. I mean, I think honestly, people who are actually in those situations, they wouldn't consider themselves to be side chicks, because it's like, okay, it's this couple has made the decision to have this type of relationship. Is people, they have knowledge of it, whereas they'll view a side chick as somebody that's truly kept on the side in the sense of not being known about. They're sneaking around. But at the end of the day, most of the other people will say, yeah, she was a side chick. Because, I mean, the man is married. He's still, and obviously, who he ultimately chose. He's still going to go back to his wife. And then, what was it? What was that one episode? It was something where he called her out. Like, don't say anything about my wife.
Wife, yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah, ugh, it was messy. But
What do you think is her core issue, though?
her core issue is
Like, what do you think Molly's core issue that has been, that kind of is the common factor in all these scenarios that she keeps having?
she's reaching.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by like reaching is you get a lot of people, male or female, they'll reach. They're looking for something. And like I was saying earlier, they'll find it. And then once they find it, like, man, I got for whatever reason, it's like a trigger that sets them off where they gotta find something wrong. Like you can find like if you got like a requirement for somebody you date, like I'm gonna say for me, right? All her teeth, good credit. Good credit. If she got a child, I'll take one. Okay. I'll take one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, kind of pushing it. All right, real cool vibe, and they know what they want in life, right? Where, but for whatever reason, I'll find that chick, excuse me, female. I'm not gonna say chick, that female, and then for whatever reason, I gotta find one flaw about them that I'm just not gonna like. I thought Lil Rel Howery, his character was great for her. He wasn't her type because it seemed like she was like used to the model types. Remember, she was with the guy that I think he used to be gay or did a gay porn or something like that.
No. He was he had one experience. Like he
Yeah.
tried it. Like somebody went on him, and he was like, yeah, because they were sitting down in the house sometime on the couch. He was like, it wasn't for me, and that was it. And then it's funny because it's like those moments, I feel like she has the same face at those make or break moments with those conversations that she has with. She's like, oh, really? And that's kind of fast forward. It's the same type of expression and response that she had in the car with Andrew when she found out that, yeah, he's dating other people. So it's just this reoccurring thing of like that one thing, like you said, everything's going great. She all happy. And then the look, oh, kind of response.
She couldn't get mad at Andrew though because they ain't had that conversation. They ain't put that title. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put that title up there. So he's dating somebody else, and now you're in your feelings. And then what also gets me is Issa, right? So now Issa's finally getting her stuff together from what it looks like. The stuff with Lawrence ended, but she ended that because she cheated. And then I guess she used to Issa being that dumb friend. Or that friend that ain't that she's always can look at, like how you always got that people say you got that one ugly friend in the club that makes you look better. Well,
Issa not ugly, first of all.
Number one, I never said Issa's ugly. Number two, Issa's a very beautiful woman, and I hope one day Issa, I swear for God, I've seen you since Awkward Black Girl. I followed you when Insecure was on YouTube. I called her Flag Ass.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, that's Bay. If she was to walk in here right now, I swear for God.
All right. So back to where you going, because like I won't really feel where you're going. Like so for that one friend, because I don't really feel like because it kind of made it seem like you're saying that it used to make Molly look better, but not really.
No, it was Molly's self-esteem. She knew that I guess Molly had some
career.
Yeah, like career-wise, like it was something inside of her that was like, oh, I'm doing better than this person. I'm this big-time lawyer. I work for this agency, and my friend Issa works for we got y'all, whatever the name of that company.
We got y'all, yeah.
Yeah, like she was looking down on Issa in a
way. Yeah. So it's yeah, and it maybe so, and well, okay, now this is the thing. Now this is what season 4, I believe, is 0 in 1, because season 4 starts with, and I hope you done told your listeners that there's spoilers if they haven't watched it, but
in the description.
Basically, so like they start off with Issa, saying, laying on the couch, like he said she don't really F with Molly. So that's how we're starting the season. So basically it kind of sets the groundwork of knowing that the season is going to lead up to that moment of like they not even fooling with each other. So what we're about to go into is the deterioration of their friendship. Of course, obviously there's other like realms and stuff like to the show, but that's one of the essential things because we see, so the first 2 episodes we seen them having self-care, self-care Sunday, spending time together. But what we also are seeing are those moments where they seem to be calling each other out even more. I think that carry over from season 3. Saying they're having these call out moments.
You remember Pretty Pussy? That song that
Broken yeah, that's actually start. Yeah, so there's certain things it's been coming up, like and now obviously in a friendship you're supposed to be able to call one another out, right? But it just doesn't seem like they're receptive to one another in the way they call each other out. So we ended, what was it? No, actually it was the first episode, because I believe they were cleaning up after the mixer that, they're doing the sponsor, trying to get the sponsors for the block party.
Right.
And, Molly's on some stuff with like, your life doesn't have to be this messy in regards to, her remaining friends with Condola. So that's a whole nother situation within itself. When it became the surface that, Condola, was dating Lawrence, and then side note, because Lawrence's homeboy kind of called this out too. He was like, you don't piss in the pool that you swim in. So basically referring to how he ended up meeting Condola, at the baby shower, at Tiffany's baby shower. So it's like, it kind of was a thing that shouldn't be surprised that she was connected to somebody. Obviously she's connected to the people there. You know what I'm saying? When you start dating people within a certain circle. So it ended up being that. But anyway, so she's calling out the whole relationship with Condola, the friendship or whatever. But just reading stuff online, some people are commenting on how Issa seems to be actually maturing in some ways, in a sense of like she's trying to get her life together, where she's, pursuing the block party and everything, and actually is trying to handle the situation with Condola and Lawrence maturely. It's like, all right, that's past. We can still work together and move on. So there's a whole dynamic connected with that, in regards to, okay, she has that going on. And then Molly, still trying, peeping certain things. Because there's another thing that's coming out, and it really shows in the second episode how Molly is jealous, the jealousy that's coming up because of her friendship that's developing with Condola.
You saw that with the lunch thing, like the menu,
exactly,
everything, yeah. And maybe
trying to hand the purse.
She might be feeling bad too. Might got a little bit of not just jealousy, but she got like a little bit of doubt because she see Condola is actually uplifting Issa.
That's
You know,
it.
because I think in every episode they had, she never really uplifted.
She wasn't supporting.
Yeah,
She was.
supportive.
Yeah, she was not supportive of the block party, and like, I can't remember if it was. I don't think it was this season. I think last season, like leading up to this. If I might be wrong, but I think she had even made a comment of her, like, you still on this block party stuff. You know what I'm saying? I might be wrong. I think she did make a comment, almost something along those lines. To Issa, like, you still on this block party type stuff. But over here, you got Condola like really uplifting, or even diving in with her expertise to try to help. And then also another element, if you notice in these episodes, they haven't really been spending that much time with each other.
No,
because it's like, because when they come together, like at the Halloween, to get together, like with Tiffany, and I feel like Tiffany been pregnant forever, but anyway, they were like
2 seasons already.
Right, exactly. So they were like, girl, what's been happening? So really, the story, and you see that the other friends have been caught up with certain things in each of their lives, but not between them two. They're like basically they're out the loop with each other's lives. So you're already seeing, like, what I'm saying, the distancing happen in regards to, really being involved with each other's lives and knowing what's going on.
That show, in my opinion, it has no undertone to it. It's a great show. I caught some hell about saying this one time. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Sex in the City, but it has a lot of Living Single mixed into it. It kind of is a modern Living Single. The writing's a lot better than what Living Single was. After they moved the dude into the apartment and moved Sinclair out with Overton.
Yeah, that's when it started kind of going down a little bit, when it was
Mm-hmm.
transitioning like that. Yeah,
It transitioned. Yeah, but it reminds me of Living Single. Now I will say this one too about season 4. It's got a lot edgier.
It, in a sense, yeah. So this is the thing. Like, we all know that Insecure has had a lot of sex in it, right? A lot of sex. And I think previous conversation just having in regards to this show, like, one thing that I noticed, and I know it's something that's been called out before, is how much sex has been happening in it, but you don't see too, like, it's so spontaneous, but there's no protection, there's no discussion about birth control. But now, and I don't know if this has been intentional, because there's been so many comments about previous seasons, that now you're kind of seeing a little bit more. It's like, for example, at the end, what was that, end of going towards the end of season 3, you finally see somebody experience a consequence to sleeping around, like when Lawrence got burnt, right? And then going into this season, you have Issa with a TSA Bay, who, what I'm saying, you have that scene where the condom got lost, what I'm saying? And then she had a conversation with Molly, was like, I had to cut him loose because plan B was coming to plan A. So you're finally, after all this stuff, it seemed like it took a long time for that aspect of things to come to surface. Because what it seemed like at first, there was just a lot of sex and just no consequences and no dealing with all the stuff that really truly comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Except for maybe a little, the emotional side to it, like the messiness of, all right, you trying to find love, or you want love, or you trying to decide if you just want to have a cut buddy and stuff like that. That was shown, but not the other side to it. You're finally seeing that a little bit.
Yeah, because when TSA Bay, Molly, all this, honestly, you can't be a friend with benefits. Because somewhere down the line, somebody gonna catch feelings.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a little bit, it's gonna be some jealousy involved into it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
that's just true. I
um,
mean, that's true. But I mean, that the main thing that I'm touching on it with that though is, like I said, I mean, obviously that's true with the messiness of like you trying to just keep things physical, but it's not staying just physical. But like I said, the real legit consequences of like that can happen. Like, okay, if you're not using protection, you're gonna get burnt. If you're not using, you can have issue pregnancy. Like, yo, like this, it was almost as if for a while on the show, like those weren't even in realities of their behaviors. Like I said, it took to almost to the end of season 3 for that stuff to start coming up.
that's true. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin it around a little bit. Get a
Mm-hmm.
little serious. This pandemic, what's your thoughts?
Thoughts on the pandemic? Man, it's hard. Like, what, you can say the typical things like it's tired of it. I mean, it depends on which angle you're talking about. Like, just personally, with the pandemic, of course, tired of it, tired of the concern of it, tired of, like, the extra precautions that we're having to make, just in trying to do day-to-day life, or staying in the house and being limited in how you live your life. And then there's the other aspects of, of course, you got your people out here with the conspiracy theories, you know as to why the 5G, or was it martial law, they trying to do martial law, all that stuff. So you got all these different stuff. For me at this point, I can only speak for myself. I have cut back tremendously on the amount of news that I watch, because at the end of the day, it is truly something that's out of my control. I feel as though the information that I need will come to me, what I'm saying, whether it was in my realm of control, whether it's involving work or home, my child and in school and things like that. So to keep my sanity, basically, it's like I just gotta live. I gotta live in this new norm, as everybody keeps calling it, in my little bubble. And I can't keep overloading with the numbers and the death tolls, and I just can't. I can't keep, because at first it was a point of like the news. What's the toll? What's the thing? How many people? How fast is it spreading? Like, at this point, after over a month, what was it, been a month and a half? I'm good.
No, I don't know. It's taking its toll, and he who controls the media controls the narrative. When this whole pandemic happened, you saw everybody going to go buy hand sanitizers, face masks, and gloves. Then I don't
Hmm.
know, something came out on the news. Then you saw the issue with chicken. There was no more chicken. Then there was
Hmm.
no more vegetables and fruit. Now there's no more toilet tissue nowhere. You
No,
can't.
it started off with no toilet tissue.
I'm like, well, you got to eat something. And the crazy thing that gets me is all that stuff is gone, but vitamins are still there.
A lot of people have called it out, that people aren't doing the things that need to help boost your immune system in the midst of it.
And it's the basics too. Like my thing is like, if you got a cough, cover your mouth. You sneeze, cover your mouth. If you're feeling sick, stay at home. You still got people that will come in there and call without not taking the proper precautions. And
Absolutely.
working in professional settings, the first thing people want to do is when they come do business with you.
Shake your hand, of course. So they don't want to. That's, and you already know. I know. Like, I cringe when before this was happening, and just doing business, and like you said, in professional, greeting somebody, and working with somebody in the office. They want to, like, I don't want to touch your hand. Like, I already don't want to touch your hand.
And people need one. I'm gonna go ahead and say you're right. Stay away from the conspiracy theories. Stay away from the news, because I've watched the news a couple of times, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope I ain't gonna get no backlash for this, but I may. The numbers are never. It could be the same day. I don't know how far this thing is spreading, but it seems like 1 minute tolls will be at a high number. and then it'll be at a different number, like a lower number. But the numbers ain't never consistent as far as the news all over, whether it be online on television,
Mm-hmm.
and it's affected me professionally, not just at work, but my second act. If people don't know, I am the funniest motherfucker in Virginia. Um, so I'm just playing. I am a comedian, and now what can we do? You know, Before this pandemic, I probably would have recorded this podcast in person, but of course, through the help of Zoom, I have to record through Zoom. But what sucks, I'm gonna say this and getting this off my chest. What sucks was I've been doing comedy for a year, so I hit my 1 year anniversary back on March 23rd. 1 year being in comedy. I got my diploma. I just now started getting showcases. I was just now started getting paid gigs, and boom, that's gone. Uh, I'm at work. I am literally, we're literally locked into that building from
Mm-hmm.
from open to close.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that's actually coming to do business where we work at, we don't keep your attitudes to yourself. We scared too. The only difference is you can go home after you leave us. You
Mm-hmm.
can go to the grocery store, go get all that stuff. We don't have the accessibility to those things. We're on the front line. I'm risking my life just like anybody else. We all risking life. We don't know we never been in nothing like this. So keep your attitudes to yourself. And for those that love to withdraw cash, known fact, the coronavirus can stay on money for up to 7 days. Not 7 business days, but 7 days. Okay. So for all y'all that's withdrawing, let me withdraw $20. Let me withdraw $10,000. All that crazy astronomical stuff. Why? All you doing is going to club, Walmart, and you're federally insured, not for cash, but for your account for up to $250,000. $500,000 is the bank, and some of y'all ain't got that in your account, so I ain't gonna put y'all
Mm-hmm.
out there like that. But
And please,
huh?
let's also touch bases on the fact that your local banker or teller does not know when your personal stimulus check is going to be deposited within your account. We don't know how much you're going to get. We don't know which account is going to get deposited into. Let's just go ahead and put that on the table right there.
Yeah, just put that on the table as well too. Let's also put this on the table too. If you get your stimulus check, that does not mean that you call the bank or your local credit union, okay, and complain about the money that you thought that you was gonna receive. If you got $1,200, you got $1,200. I don't need to give you any back and forth on why I don't know why you didn't get this amount. You need to talk to whoever filed your taxes, or you need to reach out to the IRS. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You will get directed right to the IRS website. They will have that information. I had someone that was mad. Why was it deposited in this account? I don't know, sir, but you would like me to transfer that for you? It, it's Yeah. So basically, let's cut the unnecessary stuff. Please go to where the source that's going to be able to actually give you that information. Your financial institution is just receiving the check, and that is it.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell some people, just break down some math here. Minimum wage in the United States is $7.25. Okay. I'm gonna just round this up to $7.50. If you work a 40-hour work week over a month span, 4 weeks make up a month. If you take 750, okay, you leave that to the side. You take 40 times 4, that's 160. You take 160 and times that by $7.50, that's your 1,200. That is a minimum wage paycheck. So this $1,200, you get it for 1 month, and for another, and keep 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 it to your savings account because this is money that you was unexpected. And please, whoever's doing that bullshit with these put my name
Pyramid scheme,
for the cash app joint, you saw that?
the pyramid scheme,
You
the
doing a
pyramid.
damn pyramid Ponzi scheme online.
With your tax money.
with your tax money. You're
Well, your relief money. Some people might be their tax, some people might be relief, whatever the money coming from.
It ain't free money. Once you file your
Mm.
taxes for in 2021 for 2020, that $1,200 is gonna be taken out of it. So enjoy it while you last. And for those doing that Ponzi scheme, when you put me on that Ponzi scheme, trying to email me about it, I swear for God, I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna report your page. I'm gonna get you blocked off of social media.
You get you getting real intense about that, ain't you? You got a little.
Yeah,
That's
I had a close friend of mine hit me up and said, "Did you get your $400 yet?" I'm like, "What $400? You talking about some?" Yeah, it's through the Cash App. I said, "I'm okay. I don't want Cash App." And I could tell you how I know Cash App ain't. People keep messing with Cash App. They actually have a routing and account number now. So y'all need to stay away from that crap.
it's a regular thing to have some type of fraud happen with Cash App. Like, please, like, I don't see so many people put their trust in Cash App when there's so many other types of, if you're talking about you need something to be able to send money back and forth to people, there's so many other more secure ways to send and receive money. Please,
Be old school. Send a Western Union a
uh,
money.
ain't nobody trying to take it. No, ain't nobody trying to deal with no Western Union. Come on now.
Hey, look, hey, they got a whole app. You gotta do like the old folks. I'm gonna go get you that money order, baby.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
So
just
okay, other than Western Union, we can try to do Zelle or Venmo. We can do those apps that are actually tied to other online banking. Like these are legit tied to people's online banking. So those are the better ones to use versus some Cash App, please.
matter of fact, take that money that you got for that little relief and fix your credit.
Now you got to clarify that. Now, does that mean take it to Ricky who got the advertisement on Facebook that he can fix your credit and pay him?
Number one, you could take it Lil Ricky from Facebook all day you want to, but Lil Ricky ain't gonna guarantee anything. Cause let me tell you, the most important thing, this is a financial thing, because Stephanie's finance too. Um, the most important thing that you gotta remember with your finances is that when you go apply for any loan, whether it be an auto loan, personal loan, credit card, mortgage, they go through Equifax. Experian and TransUnion, you're wasting your time. And that's probably what Lil Ricky on Facebook is fixing is your Experian and your TransUnion. You're not doing anything. Okay. If you see something in your credit report, try and do a settlement. If you don't have anything negative on your credit report, put the $1,200 into a savings account. Put it to the side. Like I said, it's money that was unexpected. Just like your tax money. Okay. Put an IRA or something, but stop trying to flip. I've been on
That's
social. Huh?
I'm just saying, like, yeah, do if it's gonna be do real investments, or even the more practical investments. Like, I'm sure there's people that got stuff in their house. Like, okay, say those people who didn't lose their income, because obviously, yes, we're gonna acknowledge the fact that the stimulus, to be able to at least help those who don't currently, even though it's not going to cover everything, help those who have lost income during this time. But if you're in a position that you have not lost your income, thank the Lord, you're still getting your regular paycheck, using that money to invest in things that you wouldn't be able to normally invest in. So even just your household, like, all the kids are out of school. How about investing in a laptop for the purposes of your children being able to have a working computer, in the household? Invest, in technology that they can use for their educational purposes. That's just an example. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of things that could be more useful. Or like you said, just if not, just don't put it away, don't touch it. You know.
People be tripping, bro. I don't get it. But yeah, that's a good idea. Invest to a computer. I'm not talking about no tablet, a computer, a desktop, a laptop, something.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because now these kids they got to do the homework on online and stuff. So this is taking a toll. And you see a lot of kids, they frustrated too. Imagine going like all your life. You probably the first one to graduate in your family from high school, or you getting ready to go to your prom, or that your only means of hanging out with your friends was at school. Now that's all taken from you because of Donald Trump. You know what also got me too? I don't know if you saw this. There's actually people protesting.
Yeah, the people posting. Their liberties. They're losing their liberties. Or if that's what you were talking about, you talking about
Yeah,
that one?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's dumb as hell. So you really you want to? Okay, now if you catch it,
No, I mean, you somebody had a sign that was like, it said something like, give me free or give me no, something, give me, I'd rather have COVID or something like that. Like, give me freedom. They don't care about catching COVID. Or one dude, they interviewed a guy who's, I think, a spring breaker in Florida. He was like, I'm not gonna let that interfere with my fun. They don't, like, really, people really don't care.
no, they don't. A lot of people out of work too. Look at my hairline right now. Okay, for y'all that don't know, I got a Batman signal on top of my head. All right, I've been dealing with this hairline since I was 16 years. I'm 31. I ain't had no shave. A little rough right now.
Everybody looking rough.
Everything
Everybody.
looking rough.
Eyebrows not done. That's why the hat pulled down low. This is all types of stuff going on. The weight gain in full effect because you around the house or you can't find the best of food, so you just getting snacks, a whole bunch of snacks, eating snacks all the time. You DoorDash is getting all this money. That I don't have so many that I don't had I saw a little dasher drop stuff on my door. She looked like she's like 8 years old, came and dropped me some food off. That's all we do. This is what we doing this day and age. This what we doing right now.
That's what it's coming down to. I want to be able to live my life not in fear.
Hmm.
Something in the water got canceled. I was going to go to that. You know, I was supposed to be moving in July. That's done. I'm stuck in Virginia. Um,
But see, and that's the thing. Like there is a full reality right now, and it sounds, and it depends on what it is. But people are going to do grieving right now. Like there's certain things you like you mentioned about the high school kids. Graduate, like you done labor through school, and you can't even have a prom. You can't even actually have a graduation. You can't gather with your family to celebrate certain things. Or even the even darker side of this is that people passing away, but they can't be sent off properly so far as the family even being able to gather together to say goodbye to their loved ones. So there's a lot of grieving in regards to what's going on. People lost their grieving and losing their job, grieving and losing their stability, or they're just not, once again, like I said, not even being able to just to have family close during some of the toughest times for a lot of people.
I was speaking of that. Shout out to one of my mentors. Met him at AT&T, Jermaine Mackey. He lost his grandmother to the COVID-19 recently. So shout out to him. So um, it's plain and simple. Just stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go nowhere. If you go to Walmart, they taped everything off. Target taped it. The grocery stores taking stop. And keep your fucking attitude to yourself. Plain and simple. We are in this together. That's what people don't realize. They just want to. I don't know what it is about people having these little attitudes in this time. Like you gonna go off on an essential worker, but for what? Because you having a bad day. We having a bad day too. We're living in fear as well too. We have kids. Some of us have families that we got to go home to. Um, like I said, we can't get the necessities that we're able to get because we have to get up to go to work while you have to get up and go to the grocery store and panic shop. There should be no reason. I went to the store. True shit. I went to the store. I went to Food Line today because I was like, well, I keep snacking, eating all these little Debbie cakes, and sooner than later, little Debbie is gonna get me pregnant with my stomach.
That's
I went and got some fruit, and I
right.
saw, and I went down the aisles, and I just saw nothing in the cleaning supplies.
Right. Right. Like you can't, like the whole shelf.
Went out of business when I went in there. And you know what's crazy? If they was to say, we for the COVID-19, this is the lockdown gonna be lifted. Them same people that bought all that shit gonna probably trying to return it.
Oh, it probably be that one. There's be somebody, what I'm saying, done overstopped and got like 10, 10 things of Clorox wipes and all types of stuff. I'm like, all right, I don't need all this and trying to get the money back. But no.
They can't. They've been trying to sell it. I know y'all saw a dude in New York. They seized him for toilet tissue and a face mask.
Yeah, they've been cracking down on that. Like there appear to be people legit trying to like take a can of Lysol and selling it, trying to sell it for $50 and stuff. Like, what?
Hmm. Yeah. But also too, come November, well, elections, you got your absentee ballots. Make sure I do your
Oh,
absentee ballots.
yes, get it. And that reminded me because I have my little thing in the mail to be able to set up. Yes, I gotta pull out in the
Make
mail.
sure y'all vote, okay? Because I don't care what nobody says.
It's a distraction. Well, not that the virus is made up, but and I feel like there's a hope for this to be a distraction. But go ahead, you
Vote,
got it.
vote, 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 vote. And then go vote again 2 years from the election because you got to vote for people in the Senate and the Congress. And make sure you're doing your stuff for the Census Bureau. That's
All
how,
right, done mine.
huh?
I did mine. The little mailage. And make sure you don't throw away the letter. You see sentences. I got like 2, 3 of them in the mail to remind you. One was a long rectangle. One was the bigger one. Just take one of them, open it, go ahead, log. It's pretty simple. Go ahead, log in on your phone. Do. You good.
Exactly. Do your Census Bureau stuff, man, and vote. And for all y'all little woke people, okay, saying that I don't vote because uh, they already know who they want in office. I don't vote because shut the fuck up, okay? Our ancestors and dad were dad, killed, murdered for us to get the right to vote, and y'all just sitting at home looking stupid. And conspiracy theories, leave me alone. I'm tired of seeing that stuff about 5G. You
Oh
know,
yeah, I don't heard that 5G so much. But then you also got the other conspiracy. You got so many different types. You got the technology conspiracy with the 5G. You got the government conspiracy with the martial law. You got the spiritual religious conspiracy with the mark of the beast. If they do the vaccine actually be a mark of the beast, or like something about Bill Gates going to make a chip. This will be like a chip to detect the virus, but that's actually the mark of the beast. Like all this extra stuff. Like let's deal with stuff and when it actually, if and when it actually happens.
the most annoying thing I done heard for all these conspiracy theories? The corona's here, right? Well, I heard that back in November.
Oh
You ain't had nobody say that yet, to you.
no, I haven't. Were they traveling? Where were they?
No,
Where were they at?
they in Virginia. They was like, I swear, me and my daughter had that back in January. I'm like, what? And they
The
told
flu?
me respiratory infection. Yeah, I've been getting that a lot, and them hypochondriacs too. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Stay home. You know what I'm saying? Save your money. Working at the bank, there should be no reason why I'm paying for you should have your account going negative at all. Well, usually I like to end this segment off and ask my guest, which is Stephanie, your top 5 comedians, no particular order, dead or alive.
Top 5. Okay, like that's it's funny because like the TV has right now, it has Bernie Mac on it and Chris Rock is like already on the TV. I'm not gonna say I'm heavy into comedy, but I would say if I were to have to name people, they would probably be among them. Bernie Mac, Chris Rock. You said top 5, right?
Top 5 dead
Okay.
or alive. You can have a starting 6 man though. Somebody to come off the bench.
Uh, dang. Who else do I think that if you see him? Oh man, I'm not a comedy person. I know this is gonna say that somebody probably roast me for this. Chris Tucker.
How gonna rush for Chris Tucker?
I don't know. I just feel like somebody will roast me for Chris Tucker. Um, who else? Um, Red Fox. And who else? Red Fox. He's like that's like grandfather. Like you know. And I got one more.
Oh,
Let's
no,
see.
pause. That's not
Huh.
grandfather because the stuff he portrayed on Sanford and Son compared to his stand-up was night and day.
Okay. See, I'm used to like show Red Fox movie Red Fox. I haven't really listened to that. Oh, I am tripping. Okay. So um I was like, let me just slap somebody back because these people are really Sinbad, excuse me. You make the face. You sit here and listen to him tell stories.
Okay. He can,
Sinbad. Yeah. And I know now this one, yeah, somebody now, like I said, our name, that's fine, but I'm gonna push somebody a little bit to the side. And I know now, yes, somebody will burn me for this one because all the extra mess, but Bill Cosby. Because I think for me, I think I like storytelling comedy. Like somebody really gonna sit down and still talk about real life scenarios and that they can sit down on the stage in a chair and just start talking about real life scenarios. So I said Bill Cosby. But I know somebody out there like, ooh, saying what they got to say about him. I understand that, but
but you don't say nothing about Louis C.K.
mm, mm,
Exactly.
yeah,
But
yeah.
my top five, some people know them, some people don't. Go ahead and say it, no particular order. Ali Sadiq, catch him on comedy.
Oh,
That's Joe Coy.
oh, I thought it was.
Ali Sadiq, Tony Wood, Richard Pryor, Lavelle Crawford, D.L. Hughley, and six man Joe Coy.
Oh, that's my. He was funny. You oh no Dave Chappelle.
I always gonna say Dave Chappelle because from what I was told, and I may be reaching or not. Somebody
Uh-huh.
did tell me my jokes are a little cerebral, like Dave Chappelle. But see, when you saw me do stand up, I try and keep it a little clean because I got to read out the crowd. I'm gonna be honest with you, I got when I see depending on me white people in the crowd, I be like, I don't want
You
to.
got to adjust that meter. That like you gotta.
Yeah, I got.
Eh,
I can.
eh,
They talk about
eh.
pull out game strong on the.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
I had made a joke. I made a joke about like bonnets and do rags. I said my friend was bald headed with a do rag on, like was wrapping up his thoughts, and I was like, and then white people like, what? I
Oh
don't
my
know if I
goodness.
can hear it.
As I said, as long as you're not on, because we're not gonna drop the location and whatnot. But what was experienced at that one open mic.
I did a show with Buddy last week.
Oh my goodness, bro! Like that was like angry. Like, are you for real? Like right now, you gonna talk like it's just certain things I get. I'm not gonna say I get it. But I know there's a dark side, a dark comedy. Some people are into that, but bro, it's just some things that you don't joke about. Like for real. Like, yeah,
You
you
know,
know exactly what I'm talking about.
I
So we
do.
gonna have to.
There's been situations where it's not just him. It's like a group of people that do shit like that. And what gets me is they'll make like these black racist jokes, and
Hmm.
black people will laugh at them. But you gotta look at this. You gotta look at your creative integrity, right? 10,
Hmm.
15 years down the line, you got kids. Your kid, YouTube gonna be around. Anything
Oh yeah,
we can find anything online.
records, man, records on records.
Imagine your kids finding that type of stuff, and then they're repeating the same thing you saying.
They'll have a fit. Like, or I will hope they will have a fit. They heard their child saying it, or what they're joking about actually be something that happens to one of the children. Lord forbid, but recognizing like, dang, that wasn't something to joke about.
Mm-hmm. They be wilding. Some people just be pushing it. But you know the crazy? They'll be like, yeah, I made money doing comedy. They're not gonna be able to sell out shows with that material. There's been comedians that was in the dark area and then actually had to switch it up.
Okay, that's not lasting because you're gonna get you. I mean, I get the thing where you're not gonna please everybody that listen to you. You're gonna offend people. That's comedy. It can be offensive, but in a sense, like not just by opinion, but something that really is truly like just flat out offensive. You can't last doing that. people be like, you know, depending on you. I don't know. Like I don't know the scene. You're more familiar truly with the scene, but I can just imagine like depending upon where you're going, doing an open mic or doing shows, and you say some of that stuff, you gonna have somebody ready to pull out a gun. To
Yeah,
a club or something like that. Like
it was. I think it was a comedian in New Orleans. He used to go around YouTube like roasting people. Somebody killed him. I forgot the guy's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But when Kobe Bryant passed away that day, he said, "Oh, Kobe passed. How ironic." He had made a joke about Kobe Bryant, but this same guy actually dressed up in the KKK hood and walked around black neighborhoods. You see, like I said, and I'm not even going to say just for comedy. I'm going to say there's just integrity in general as a human being.
right.
You got to leave a foundation. I ain't got no kids and that, but I would hate for my kids to see me in doing that type of stuff and saying that type of stuff because they sensitive to it, and then they can
Yeah.
repeat that to whomever, and then I'm getting called into the principal's office because my daddy said.
Yeah. The desensitize like, you know, if that's what your standards are and what your, you know, what you're reflecting so far as character, that's gonna shape your children's character. Like you're showing what you set a standard to them of what's okay, supposedly. This seems to be okay because this is what you're saying, this is what you're doing, you know, and it's sad.
Oh, speaking of that, I'm gonna get ridiculed with this one. Nick Cannon's one of my favorite comedians too.
Okay.
Smart guy. People don't give him credit. He kind of got what Keenan Ivory Wayne's doing. He putting a lot of people on because Keenan Ivory Wayne put his whole family
Yeah. Yeah.
on. He
Oh,
put
let's touch on that a little bit too. Like in regards to now, you know, the Wayans brother, they have, especially with some like the movies that they put out over the years, like the real. And I know somebody will be upset with me can describe it like this, like that real over the top, corny comedy. Does that make sense? Like that corny, like over the top, like acting outrageous comedy, like how or what was it? I don't think they necessarily did those. They were mocking the scariest movie, or what was
scared.
the other one? Gin and Juice. What was it? What's the name of the movie?
Why in South Central? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, like movies like that. Like what is your view of those that type of comedy? Like the real ridiculous acting, super silly type.
So after Scary Movie 2, when they took the Wayne brothers, when they took Sean and Marlon out, I started watching it.
Hmm.
When it came to Don't Drink Your Juice in the Hood While Living in South Central, I love that movie. I can quote that movie back and forth. I can quote Scary Movie back and forth.
What movie can't you quote?
I watch a lot of movies. If you give me one scene, I promise you I can act it out. Plain and simple. But I like that shot too. That straight one. But
Oh,
but it has to be done in good taste, you know, because you had people gonna like do a lot of parodies on popular movies and add this and that to it, and it has to be done to a certain art. The Wayans capitalized on it, in my opinion, was Scary Movie. That was hilarious. It
mm.
was ingenious. They took Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and they took all the stereotypes. You know, the black person dying first, the
Oh yeah,
white,
yeah.
the dumb white girl, falling into the trap, the hunky, whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The hunky type guy, HUNKY for y'all, not HONKY. The cute white guy that's supposed to be the savior, and then his goofball friend and this person behind it. It touched on a lot of topics. It was genius in my opinion for Scary Movie 1 and 2, but of course this is why paperwork and stuff and trademarking and copyrighting and patents and all this stuff and owning your franchise and your brand is important. Because when they got to the third, the fourth, and the fifth, it just got trash. You know, it reeked.
Mm.
When they had Kevin Hart, Anthony Anderson in it, and they reenacted Brokeback Mountain and stuff like that, it just was trash.
I honestly didn't even know there were that many of them.
Yeah, it was five. It was five scary movies. And the Wayans are genius. Wayans brothers, by far, I can sit there and watch all the episodes of the Wayans brothers. John Witherspoon. That's what I first
Yes,
do.
those were good show. Like those shows that what was it? What was it like WB, this UPN,
Yeah,
um those are just really so the other and the other show, My Wife and Kids, that was a great show.
that was a great show, but the writing got off after Junior had the baby though.
Well, there's a lot of have you noticed that a lot of black shows, not all of them, but a good chunk of them, they get to a certain point, especially as they get more seasoned, where the writing just go where maybe it's like to the point where they can't even carry it anymore, the story anymore,
Right.
so the show just kind of dwindles off.
But My Wife and Kids was like a modern day Cosby. It was two working parents. They married, they live in the house with their kids. They both had a good career. But then it was just like, I don't know why Hollywood or the media portrays black people as always got to be the underdog. Like I was watching this show on Netflix called All American, and it's 2 seasons, and each season is 16 episodes, and they are an hour episode. Because I'm quarantined, I'm watching this joint, and the guy's a football player. Okay, the main Spencer James, football player, raised by a single mom, got his little brother he watches after of, and he's going to Crenshaw High School. Of course, that's in the hood. Is gang related, and then the coach notices him, who was played by Tay Diggs. They get him to go to Beverly Hills High School to play football so he can get more recognition. And then it's like all these sad stories. He got a friend that's wants to be that's a blood. This somebody's trying to kill her. The coach may be his father, and then the mother was cheating. I'm like, yo, why can't it ever be anything? You don't really see that much uplifting anymore. Like with
Mhm.
Tyler Perry, I know we just going on, but hey, whatever. We gotta shoot this quarantine. It was like with Tyler Perry had pain. Fuck it. That was a good show because it was you had the uncle, you had the son, you had the nephew, and they was all firefighters. There's not many black firefighters out there. At least what I seen. That's not a predominantly black thing. And then what happened? It just got dark.
Mhm. Yeah.
Meet the Browns, dark. I'm like, damn, why is everything
It
got
got dark. It's what happened. It's okay. I didn't keep like there's very few shows that I kept up like all the way to their ending. So like what happened to Meet the Browns?
well after the movie came out, because the movie came out when the show was out. So it was
Okay.
well known that Cora wasn't Brown's daughter. So he was still
Mm.
claiming her like that. Will and Sasha, they was trying to have kids, but they couldn't have kids.
Oh, and she did, but there was a point where I do remember that. I very little bit about the show. I do remember when she was taking birth control behind the back. I don't know if it's because she was scared. I think maybe I can't remember. Did they lose? They had a miscarriage at first, so they were supposed to be trying again, but she was scared, so she was actually taking birth control behind his back or something like that.
Yeah, and then with House of Pain, what happened with Calvin? Him and Miranda get into it. The house burned down. They got money issues. He got bad spending habits. They had to move back in. He had a baby outside of the marriage, but that was before he didn't even know about the baby, so he got faulted for that. Then he messed around on Miranda. Then the baby suffered burn. One of the babies suffered burns in the fire. I'm like, damn. Then Miranda, she leaving him. He gets shot. He got PTSD. I'm like, damn, man, can't none of our shows end on a happy ending. Moesha, I love Moesha. The next thing you know, the little brother, he getting kidnapped.
Yo, I don't even remember that. Kidnapped?
Yeah, Miles was kidnapped.
I remember Miles, but I don't even remember him getting kidnapped. Yo,
Now,
you got all the storage of all the shows and movies up in your joint. Like it's
shout out,
there.
shout out to the venue on 35th Street, Performance Playground, because that's the ones that been getting me right. That's what I've been overanalyzing for sure. But it never ended right. None of them shows end right.
What about the Parkers? Let's see. Let's throw some ones out there. What about the
The
Parkers?
Parkers. So it was like in my opinion, it was a mix of family matters because Laura was chasing, not Laura, Steve was chasing after Laura. So uh, Kim Mama was chasing after Professor Ogilvy,
Ogleby.
whatever his name is. Then they graduate. Kim couldn't graduate. They still in that Unity. What was it? Unity or whatever the name of their band was.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then she finally gets over the professor. Starts dating this dude with his little. He had a skunk in his head, so he had like the black hair with the white line or whatever. And then she pregnant, but it might be the professor's baby, and then she gonna marry this dude. Then professor confessing his love. I'm like, it just got trash.
Mm.
There's a
You
lot of
remember?
trash shows.
You remember the game? The game fell off. It got bad. That joint got bad. That used to be my show, but it's just like when she was Melanie in that show, like this her hot mestedness, that's word, dealing with old boy, what was his name? The tall dude. And when
Right?
she was on that break from Derwin, and Derwin was with Janice, whatever her name, Janice, and they had a baby together. But then Melody and him got back together, and then like Tasha character was over top. There was the other dude name was over the top, cocky. Like it was just
Malik, yeah,
crazy.
that made Malik a
Malik, yeah,
drug addict. I'm like, he was my favorite character.
yeah, he was a hot like he downward spiral like just like. And then Kelly and what's his face got a divorce, and she was on doing her own reality show after the divorce, and I don't
Then
know. Then it was
and Jason's daughter had no problems. Then he was dating Brandy. I'm like, it got dark. Girlfriends got dark. I'm like, yeah, damn.
oh well. You talking about how the what was she her and the guy who the girl who married the white doctor, and their relationship was just real bad.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Cause he left her, didn't tell her why he was leaving. Then he found out he was having a baby,
But
and
he
then
still wasn't trying to fool with her once that she was pregnant, all right? He was still just done with her even when she was pregnant.
yeah, he was done with her. It was just dumb. It got dark. Everything, all black shows got dark. The only shows, and I don't care what nobody says, that didn't got to get dark in my opinion. And I know he's locked up for whatever he did. I wasn't there. Was the Cosby Show, and then he came
Yep.
back out in the '90s with Cosby that used to come on. See,
That was what's the name of the dude that the skinny black dude was in that show? That one was good.
his name was Dougie Doug or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was him. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. That one was oh, you remember Malcolm and Eddie? Malcolm and Eddie was a good show.
Malcolm and Eddie was good. Malcolm and Eddie
Mhm.
was genius.
That was a good I remember that. That was classic. I remember that was good.
I'm gonna take you back. I'm gonna see you remember this one. Homeboys in Outer Space. Exactly.
I, I remember the title, but like I can't remember like recall any of the actual like episodes of it.
3 episodes. I think it was 3 episodes. They air about. They got a hoopty Cadillac for a spaceship. I was like, this trash.
I
Kevin
definitely
Hart
remember
had
the
a show-
title.
Yeah, Kevin Hart had a show, The Big House. It was just like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I love that show. They canceled it. Uh, Hang with Mr. Cooper. I love Hang with Mr. Cooper.
Hey, yes, Hanging with Raven Simone was in that. Yeah, that was a good one too. Did you like the Steve Harvey show?
I did like the Steve Harvey show, and he had another one that came out early. It was Me and My Boys. Used to come on ABC. Exactly. I know y'all like, hey, you got
Mm.
some.
You remember all the black shows that existed for? There was a few of them because I feel like I can picture. It's another one I can picture in my mind, but I cannot remember what the name of it was. It was quite a few that was out for their little spans of time, and
Yeah,
then they were just gone.
Entertainer had the preacher, the reverend. He had that show on TV Land. He had a skit comedy show that came on Fox, where he had Randy Raquel Robinson in there, who was Tasha Matt, and that was pretty dope.
Remember
Um,
the Rock? Remember not the Rock, but Rock.
oh, I remember Rock. Rock
Yeah,
was like,
Trash Man. He was the family. He was
but Rock was like, even though it had its moments, even though it had its moments, it had he was just trying to do right, and the neighborhood was falling behind him.
mm.
But then, like I said, Heavy D shot Clifton Powell, and I'm like, yeah, dang. They had the girl move in with him. I remember that show,
See,
South
you
Side.
remember more details than I do.
I remember South Central with Lorenz Tate when he first started acting. Single mama working at the grocery store, Gang Life, Crenshaw. It seemed like every time shows back in the night they want to perpetrate gang life, they go to Crenshaw. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that lasted, and that had Hakeem, the guy that played Lamont Bentley, who played Hakeem and Moesha in it. That's what he got to Moesha. And
Mm-hmm.
before Moesha, remember Thea? Thea was okay.
Althea, you mean was it Althea or
No,
Thea?
it was just Thea. It was just
Thea. Okay.
Thea. I don't know. Yeah,
Was Brandy in that one too?
Brandy
Thea. Brandy
was.
was in the.
Yeah.
Okay.
So was Jason Weaver.
Oh dang, Jason Weaver. Wow. Did he sing with? Did he have a song with Ching?
Yeah. Hey, people.
Come go with me. Is that the song?
Yeah, but
Okay.
he won't get marketed like a Jonathan Taylor Thomas because his skin was darker. But he
Mm.
was smart when because he sung all the parts of the Lion King that came out in '94. Uh, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah, he still get royalties from that.
yeah, which was smart royalties for y'all people in the music that want to do music stuff, shit like that. Royalties will feed not just you, but they'll feed your kids and your kids' kids.
Yeah, I remember seeing that where he refused just that one time payment. What was it? What was a million something? A
It
one time payment
was one time $2 million payment.
versus royalties, and that was a smart move. You know, most people be like, "Let me get that million," but then if you are truly thinking about it, like you said, that royalties are going to pay you for years on years on years
I think
versus just that one time.
yeah, I think up to 75 years.
That's whole life. Like if you already grown plus 75.
Yeah, you get money off the streams. Of course, if you go ASCAP for BMI, I don't know if you watched Wild or not, but you just saw was it E-Man Hudson and Spoken Reasons going back out about that song, asking all them questions.
Oh yeah, I was hearing about there was something going on with that, but I didn't see it. But I remember him from Aston. Everybody know him from well, not everybody, but I think our age groups knows the asking all them questions. And it's funny, I don't think a lot of people know who Spoken Reasons was because like, who is that?
And hey, I gotta give it to Buddy. Buddy is works hard, but I'm not. I never
You
found
talking,
his stuff funny.
talking about Spoken Reason?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't. I think he just like built like a little general. I don't want to call it like I'm downplaying the guy, but like he had a little fan base, but he never, from what I've seen, because I don't, not that I pay consistent attention to him, that he really branched off into anything that truly set him apart and really created something for him. Not that I've seen. I could be wrong, but
I mean, he did that one movie with Melissa McCarthy and Julia Roberts. He was in
what
that.
was?
He was smart. He had a little small role in that one. So I
But
don't
who know? Who remembers that? Like who? You know.
nobody do. You gotta leave a legacy in this joint because at this point you gotta have two hats to make money.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. I guess with because that just made me think about how people they start their careers on YouTube, and it's like you have those that and I wonder about like sketch comedy or like the little video doodles and they based upon their career, they're full-time YouTubers, and you think about you're like, okay, can you really do that for 20, 25 years, 30 years? What's the expiration date for doing it, especially if you're not branching out to other things?
I don't know, but I know I can tell you like honestly, if you got the attention span like I do, like I'll follow them like, damn, buddy funny or she funny. Now I probably say 2, 3 months later, unfollow.
Yeah.
Do the same stuff. But I tell it's like one person I say was like that's actually turned it from doing like Vine skits to Instagram skits to now doing like little small movies on YouTube or two people. That's corporate. He got like this thing called Chicago Be Like and Desi Banks. Them the only two that I've really been like listening to. I'll give it to the other ones like B Simone and stuff like that. But like I don't know the expiration date on that stuff. But if you're still stuck on like getting your monetary value from YouTube and stuff like that, and you're not branching off to like a maybe a movie or something like that with a big name,
Hmm. Hmm.
and you ain't really doing nothing, in my opinion.
Have you heard of there's a dude called T Pendale? I think he's one of the main ones that I've seen like maybe like a few years ago, like I wouldn't say I never like heavily followed him, but like I'll check in on him. But it is those real basic, and then he got a heavy following. Like I think maybe got a million, so I think he's reached that. But I don't see where he's really branched out from YouTube. Like you see him maybe do an appearance in like a web series or like a YouTube series, like a little show. But other than that, I don't know of him branching out. I'm just like, yo, he's getting older. I don't know exactly how old he is, but I'm pretty sure that he's either, our age or older, like hitting mid 30s possibly, or like right. And it's like, how long can you? Because a lot of his videos they would appeal to like college students, you know, just
Yeah.
like dormtainment. But dormtainment, they've branched out and done a lot of other things.
You saw they be running around with Issa.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. You see their little cameos and stuff. So they're out there. They've leaked out there further beyond, YouTube. But somebody like that, like T Fendel, I'm like, I don't know, like maybe I missed it, like because I'm not saying that I'm like a heavy follower of him, but it is one of those people when it comes to comedy, like can you really live your life, in regards to being a full-time YouTube comedy YouTuber? Like how long can you do that? Like
Yeah.
what's next? You getting older, you starting to get gray hairs, and you really
Issa-
still gonna be doing sketches that are appealing to college students?
I mean, it's the same thing with stand up. Like, you got a lot of you. When you're a stand up comedian, you make all your money off of the tours and venues and stuff like that. That's where your money comes. You get tour money. When you ain't on tour, you ain't getting no money. So you see a lot of comedians. You like, now what happened to Buddy from Def Comedy Jam or from Comic View, or you be like, what happened to them? And you'll see, and I'll be honest with you, you'll see, and even YouTubers. I'm gonna take some of that stuff back. YouTubers, the YouTube comedians, you'll see their actual real name. They may have written for another comedian. They may have written a television show. Um, they may have even written a children's show. There's a lot of comedians that actually have their hands on like these Disney and Nickelodeon cartoons that are coming out. Arsenio Hall was one of them. Tommy Davidson did one with the Proud Family. You see a
Mm.
lot of them writing now, but the YouTube stuff, I think is I don't know if it's oversaturated, but it's definitely starting to come to a market that's kind of like what's your next bet. But a lot of people may see YouTube as, all right, I can't get a CBS backing or a BET or HBO backing, but I can get on YouTube and you know do it that way. All I need is a iPhone or a good camera, and I can
Mm-hmm.
edit and chop it up this way. You know, and that's what they looking at, and hopefully the right people will start reaching out to them. But like I don't know, you just gotta monetize it. You gotta find a way. So, on that note, um, on that notion, um, you can follow this podcast on all social media platforms, Comedian Rome. You can follow me on Cameo. If you pay a certain amount, I can shout you out for your birthday.
uh, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, man, entrepreneur. The podcast is No ID Podcast. It's only on Instagram for right now. But it's also available on my YouTube channel, Comedian Rome. It's underneath the playlist, No ID. It's available on 14 platforms, so Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Podchaser, all that other stuff, etc. Um, I don't know if there's any upcoming projects, but every Thursday via Zoom, you can check me out. I won't be on this Thursday, but next Thursday I will be. Is the Comedy Get Down. Well, it's a virtual comedy show. It's probably 10 to 15 comedians doing 3 to 5 minutes. Stephanie, anything that you want to add?
And really, but I would like to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to come along and have this conversation with you. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Have a good night. Thank you.